There are new details on the Michigan cheating scandal, and this one's a big one. Pete Thamel at ESPN is reporting that the head football coaches had their regular meeting with Tony Petitti, the commissioner of the Big Ten. After all the regular business was done, they booted Jim Harbaugh off that call and spent an hour having a bitching and moaning session about sign stealing and cheating in the Big Ten. Pete Thamel reporting on that call that a majority of the coaches want Jim Harbaugh suspended. And the overwhelming question, as we told you earlier this week, what are you waiting for? It seems to be the number one question in Big Ten land. We did some digging with our sources this afternoon, and we're told that Tony Petitti is seriously considering suspending Jim Harbaugh. He has a few more phone calls around the conference this afternoon. He is going to talk to a group of presidents in the Big Ten this afternoon. He is going to talk to all of the athletic directors in the Big Ten this afternoon. And then he will be in Ann Arbor tomorrow. Now, he will be there, I am told. And I believe the Athletic or Fox Sports is reporting it is for the lacrosse championships of the Big Ten. But he will meet in person with Michigan administration tomorrow in Ann Arbor, and it is expected that Jim Harbaugh will be suspended tomorrow. Now, I should tell you point blank, I'm not convinced that's going to happen. I am being told that there is given serious consideration to suspending Jim Harbaugh, but my feeling is if the athletic directors and presidents in the Big Ten do not back that, I don't believe that Tony Petitti can act on his own and do that. I believe, though, and I was told this afternoon that athletic directors do, in fact, support the suspension of Jim Harbaugh pending the outcome of this investigation. And one of the words that I think we've talked a lot about this week and the last several weeks since this Michigan sign stealing scandal broke is that the integrity of the college football playoff is something these ADs, and there's a lot of Big Ten personnel involved in the college football playoffs, they take it very seriously. And I think Jim Harbaugh, one of the things that he has done very clearly is he has worn out his welcome in the Big Ten. He may be comfortable at Michigan. He is not at all welcome around the Big Ten. That much is very clear. And there is belief around college football that Jim Harbaugh will be suspended tomorrow by Tony Petitti in Ann Arbor. And I don't know if it is coincidental. I don't know if it just happened to work out that way, that Tony Petitti will be in Ann Arbor tomorrow on NCAA business. And I am told unequivocally he will meet with the administrators at Michigan. Jake, do you believe that Jim Harbaugh will be suspended tomorrow?
I think there's a chance. I think it depends what the Michigan administration says. And this has kind of been the conversation. We haven't seen a suspension because I don't think Petitti and the Michigan administration have gotten together and sort of decided what the best route forward is. That's taken some time. And I do think that Commissioner Petitti was obviously always going to go through a due diligence period and understand the facts that he has and the evidence he has and understand exactly what went on here, and I think that process has finished. And now that's why he's coming to Ann Arbor. Now, do I believe that he's coming to Ann Arbor for some lacrosse tournament? I don't believe that for a second. I think that's a cover. I think that you were like, hey, what athletic events do we have this weekend in Ann Arbor? Well, Tone, we got a lacrosse tournament. Okay, great. That's why I'm going to Ann Arbor. I mean, that's what it feels like to me. And maybe I'm wrong. That's just my opinion, but that's what it feels like. And I think ultimately for Jim in this suspension, I really do think it comes down to what the Michigan administration says. If the Michigan administration wants to fight and not, cooperate to the fullest, I think you've got a suspension coming. And honestly, it's probably you have a suspension coming either way.
Yes.
It just depends on what, how stiff that suspension is going to be based on how you react. So, I guess I do think he'll get suspended, but I think the severity of that suspension largely is held within those conversations. I would doubt that Petitti's already got his mind made up as to what he'd like to do. I think commissioners, generally speaking, like to talk to as many people as possible.
So you feel like, as I do, I feel like the conversations that Tony Petitti is having today, again, we were told by sources close to the situation that Tony Petitti is going to meet with presidents and with athletic directors by conference call today. and he will arrive in Ann Arbor later tonight. And then tomorrow morning, he is supposed to first thing meet with the administration in Michigan. I think it is absolutely, I mean, it makes total sense to me that this is how this process has played out. I think Tony Petitti, from everything that I've been told by people who know Tony and have worked with him in the TV industry, he's very pragmatic. He is very systematic. He's a guy who likes to go through a process. And I don't think there's any doubt the evidence is heavily against Jim Harbaugh in Michigan here. I think one of the things I was told again today is this is a cumulative issue. It's not just sign stealing. It's not just the COVID dark period. This FBI investigation is weighing heavily on everybody in the Big Ten, I'm told. Everybody is paying attention to that because there is no clear, evidence or understanding, maybe is the better word, as to what Matt Weiss was doing to commit computer crimes with multiple victims across state lines, allegedly. But we do know that the FBI has been involved for over a month. Michigan police, campus police have confirmed that they've been on campus. I mean, this is something that is adding up. And then Jake found this story this morning from the comeback that I think is wild. And when we talk about a cumulative effect, I want you to understand every single day for the last 2 weeks, a new detail has come out.
Yeah.
Whether it's where's Waldo Stallions, who paid for what, where's Jim Harbaugh's mom eating breakfast today, every day something new has come out. But it is very difficult to overlook headlines like this. A Michigan football staffer reportedly fired for attempting to meet an underage girl this past September.
Yeah, so a video was made available to Michigan of a staffer named Alex Hood, who was being described as a low-level staffer. And Alex is on video purchasing liquor ahead of what he thought was a meeting with an underage girl. The video in question is 10 minutes long and shows a man in a Michigan football sweatshirt holding a bottle of liquor, being approached by two men who are not the police, confronting him about his alleged attempt to meet up with a 13-year-old girl. So this dude's on video in Michigan attire once again, doing something nefarious once again. So there's not much more other than this comeback article on this right now. It's not really blown up yet, but I think that this is another detail, another layer, if you will, to the onion.
It's another
of Michigan.
incident.
Yeah,
it is another incident. We talk all about, well, hey, Jim Harbaugh, this great coach who, he's assembled this staff and they're going to win. Well, apparently he didn't assemble the brightest, bulbs in the bunch to make his football operation run. And you look at the way that Connor Stallions went about his business. You look at this new situation with, a Connor Hansen style takedown of a football staffer who was purchasing alcohol, who allegedly was going to meet up with an underage girl. The FBI, level 1 and level 2 violations, a cheating scandal. The list is going in the wrong direction.
Yeah,
it's
mounting.
The list of scandals is getting longer. And we joke, but Jim Harbaugh is proving himself to not be a good maker of men. You have a guy here who, wearing Michigan football gear, bought alcohol and was allegedly going to meet with an underage girl.
13 years old.
A 13-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And this is the guy you hired? Where are your hiring standards?
And again, I just want to point this out for timeline purposes. This video was made available to Michigan September 29th, and there's not a specific date as to when this Alex cat was released from the program, but it was earlier this fall is what they're saying. So recently.
This is wild.
Yeah.
And I just don't, I will go back and ask every Michigan fan, every Michigan alum, everybody in the comments section for weeks now who's been telling me that I'm biased and that I don't know what I'm talking about and this is all made up. And how do you just keep ignoring this stuff? How do you keep ignoring that he's got potential pedophiles on his staff? How do you keep ignoring the level 1 and the level 2 violations. The FBI's in your football office for over a month. You have this Connor Stallions. Anybody see the video of Connor Stallions on the Central Michigan sideline? There's an update on that video too. Everybody was talking about these Ray-Ban glasses.
Right.
And the Ray-Ban glasses, I showed Mrs. Monty this last night. She said she doesn't believe that that's it.
I'm for real.
Ray-Ban makes a pair of glasses with 2 lenses and a blue light in it.
Right.
And if you look at this video, just watch the blue light turn on. Ding. Like, it's to my eyes, it looks like a blue light turns on.
Yeah, that looks about as real as it gets to me. I mean, I would doubt it more if it was more on the lens, but it's not. It's right where it should be.
It's on the frame.
Yeah, it's on the frame.
I just don't know, Michigan fan. How do you ignore this stuff? And I'll keep asking the question. Don't you deserve better than this? Doesn't Michigan football deserve better than Jim Harbaugh? And I guess the answer is no, because the overwhelming majority of Michigan football fans are standing and fighting to defend Jim Harbaugh, and I don't get it. This is not, we joke, this is not a witch hunt. You brought these people into your program knowingly. You brought in a guy that bought alcohol and had the purpose of meeting a 13-year-old girl.
I want the best people.
While wearing a Michigan football sweatshirt. Connor Stallions. Okay, Matt Weiss. Like, the list of degenerate operators in your program getting longer. And then there's Jim Harbaugh, who I guess we just shouldn't expect better from, because Jim's the guy that's got level 1 violations for lying to and not cooperating with the NCAA Committee on Infractions, who he was in front of because he broke the COVID dark period recruiting rules by meeting with kids in person, watching workouts over phones. I mean, what are we even talking about? Like, you're charged with overworking your coaches, and on that whole thing, you took a self-imposed 3-game rip. So you've essentially admitted you did that.
Yes.
So you're not the best person for the job. You don't hire the best people for the job. And Michigan football deserves better than this.
Thanks.
Every single day, we get a new report about something Michigan football employee X did. Today, it's alcohol in a 13-year-old girl. I just don't, what else could come on, it can't get worse than this. It can't get, we're talking about felonies and the FBI. And then you add the alcohol in the 13-year-old girl.
Because it's illegal.
Like, this is wild to me.
Yeah, it's a crazy extension of rule breaking, law breaking. Like,
wild.
Because cheating in college football isn't like felony charges, right? I mean, you're going to get, suspended, fined, disciplined. Okay, cool. But you're not going to jail because you were sign stealing illegally.
But we talked to Troy Taylor, the head football coach at Stanford, this afternoon. That interview in its entirety is on the channel. Please go and find it. And he talked about what is the advantage that you get from having the signs and the information that Jim Harbaugh is alleged to have had.
It's massive. As you know, I mean, this level of college football in the NFL is so competitive. There's so much pressure to win and be successful. It's you can't kid yourself. Knowing the protection, knowing the defensive calls is a massive advantage. And I think when you don't do anything about it, what you're doing is you're rewarding people that cheat. And that's what we're trying to avoid. Most people don't cheat. They play it honestly. So I am all up for improving the technology and trying to eliminate that aspect, because the great majority of college football programs don't cheat. And we don't want to reward people that do.
Wow. I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. Go watch the entire interview with Stanford football coach Troy Taylor on the channel right now here on the Monty Show. But I think by not punishing Jim Harbaugh, I'm with Troy Taylor here. By not punishing Jim Harbaugh, aren't you rewarding somebody that is admittedly a cheater?
Yeah, I mean, you're setting precedent. So as I've always maintained with Jim Harbaugh from the beginning, Jim is a brazen individual. Jim's whole strategy here is, hey, even if they catch us, what are they going to do? Okay, well, the more you F around, the more you find out. And he's
Right.
going to find out. But the problem with that is that the next person that decides to do it, whether that's Jim or someone else, now understands, okay, well, Jim did this. So if we do that same thing, we can expect the same punishment. But what about if we did this, but we just did a little better than Jim and nobody ever caught us? That's what we're talking about here. So it doesn't surprise me that today we see reports about, all the coaches in the Big Ten want discipline for Jim Harbaugh now. They want a suspension. They want it to be handled now, because ultimately every result that team plays in is going to come into question and for the rest of the season. I don't know how it couldn't. So to me, I just think that Jim Harbaugh is someone who does not think that discipline will catch up to him, and thought that, hey, if I take a 3-game suspension that's self-imposed, this whole thing will go away. But I have to wonder, when you did that, did you know about the FBI thing?
Exactly right.
Right?
Exactly right.
When you did that, did you know that this Alex Yudcat that was going out to meet a 13-year-old girl allegedly had those tendencies? Did you know that? I mean, that's what I wonder about this situation. What if you're Jim in the day-to-day and you're sitting in your office looking at your big board of your program, and you're sitting there like, dude, how can we get an advantage? You really tell me you didn't know you were already being looked into?
Bro, this is Chris Hansen at Michigan.
Yeah.
Like, I can't fathom this, that Michigan has sunk to this level. I can't fathom it. And I don't mean to be redundant, and I'm not trying to say the same thing over and over again. Why are you defending this prick? That's what I don't understand. What is it that Jim Harbaugh represents to you that you can't get with 100 other more qualified guys? What is it? I don't understand. This was the Urban Meyer argument.
But hey,
right?
what's the difference?
When his podcast host, wide receiver coach, was in the middle of a domestic violence firestorm. What are you hanging on to with Urban Meyer? I had this conversation. I vividly remember that, having this conversation every single day on my radio show, talking about, what are you hanging on to with Urban Meyer? What is it he does that you can't replace? Nothing. Look what he turned into at Jacksonville. Do you really think Jim Harbaugh, by the way now, do you really think Jim Harbaugh is getting a job in the NFL? Do you really think the Raiders or Bears are going to hire him straight out the gate?
No.
Because I got news for you. I don't think they are.
I maintain that the only thing that Urban has on Jim is Urban's got natties. And Urban can say to you, hey, I'll take your program to a national championship and win at the college level. At the NFL level, different story, obviously. But at the college level,
yeah,
Urban can walk into a room and say that. And everybody knows what it is. Hey,
But to me, this is it. It's no different than Joe Paterno.
Mm-hmm.
Now, listen, Joe Paterno's crimes are on another level. Oh, wait, they're not. It's exactly what this Michigan staffer is accused of doing. So is that really who Michigan is? Is that really who Michigan is? Now, they terminated this cat or did whatever they did with him the moment that they found the video, which is great. That's exactly what you should have done. But how did you not know that was in your building?
Yeah, and what's really interesting is there's no report of crime in the court system in Michigan about this. So Michigan did something about it. I mean, they got this they got it tied off pretty quick.
And I will again say, yes, I agree. Urban Meyer won rings. That does not dismiss or make it okay to handle the domestic violence incidents, to
no, I don't think it makes
all
it
the
okay.
Florida stuff before that, the Ohio State stuff. We're so willing as sports fans to overlook debauchery and a straight absence of morality because Urban Meyer wins.
But my point,
just okay with it.
But that's my thing with Michigan fan. Jim doesn't win, and Jim's cheating and still doesn't win. So when you say, hey, what's the difference between Urban and Jim? Well, Urban obviously has a much larger track record at the college level of doing heinous things inside his program. We know that. And he's a despicable human being.
You can't have allegations of domestic violence against anybody in your program.
No way.
Right? And I hate the way they handled that. You can't have a guy buying alcohol for the purpose of meeting a 13-year-old girl.
And then that same dude, allegedly in the video says that he was unaware the girl was 13 years old.
Come on, man.
That's what they all say, dude.
And that's less than a year after a guy got canned because he allegedly committed computer crimes across state lines with multiple victims. It's amazing to me. It is amazing to me. I don't know, man. I don't. Yes, Hugh Johnson. Yes. You're on campus with thousands of alcoholic 18-year-old co-eds who are a legal age, who are over 18, right? And I would hope that they would be over 21 if you're buying them alcohol. But you can't work for us, dude. And at least they got rid of him the moment the video came out.
Yeah.
But how did you not know? How did you not know?
Yeah.
How did you hang on to Zach Smith for so long and fight for him? Even the appearance of domestic violence should have been like, can't. And it wasn't his first incident. Can't do it. But you did. I don't understand why we fight for these clowns. I truly don't understand it. I really don't. I don't get it. I want to, and I don't understand it. All right. Less of us, more of you. What are your thoughts on this? So if you're just tuning in, I see a bunch of people joining the show. Here are the latest details on the Michigan cheating scandal. According to ESPN, Pete Thamel, Big Ten coaches want the conference to take action against Michigan and Jim Harbaugh. On a conference call today with all of the coaches in the conference that included Jim Harbaugh to conduct regular business, they then asked Jim Harbaugh to get off the call. I'm told that was incredibly awkward. He did not want to get off the call, but they asked him to get off the call. He hung up the phone. And then for the next hour and change, the coaches in the Big Ten made the case to immediately take action against Michigan and Jim Harbaugh. And the thing that is really interesting is they continue to ask Tony Petitti, what are you waiting for? We know what he did. We know what Michigan did. We know what Jim Harbaugh did. What are you waiting for? That was the continued overtone of the meeting, I am told. And it was a impassioned plea to take action against Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. Now, I was also told that Tony Petitti also has a call with presidents and athletic directors in the conference today. And then tomorrow he will be in Ann Arbor for an NCAA championship event, but he is scheduled tomorrow morning to meet with Michigan administration. And there is significant rumblings that Tony Petitti will suspend Jim Harbaugh tomorrow morning at Michigan. I think it is the likely outcome. I think this call with athletic directors is incredibly important. Tony Petitti is a new commissioner. Tony Petitti is less than a year on the job. And I think Tony Petitti wants to make sure he's got all his ducks in a row, which means the presidents and athletic directors and coaches behind him. And I think that tells you the gravity of the situation that this Michigan cheating scandal is. And I think a lot of people want to blow this off and say it's nothing. It's not nothing. It's massive news.
Facts.
It is in everybody's athletic department. Again, I played the clip earlier. The entire interview's on the channel. Troy Taylor at Stanford today told us straight up, we cannot reward cheaters. And if you don't punish cheaters, you're rewarding them. And I agree with that sentiment 100%. I think most people agree with that sentiment 100%. And then there is this situation that we've been describing with a Michigan staffer, according to the comeback.com. And I know his name. I'm not going to continue to roll it out there, to be honest with you, because I just don't care. But a Michigan staffer was caught on video buying alcohol with the intention of meeting an underage girl who was 13 years old. He was immediately fired when Michigan got the video, according to the comeback.com. But also he said he had no idea the girl was 13. And again, this is the parallel to Zach Smith at Ohio State. It doesn't matter what you say at this point. There are serious allegations against you. Anybody that would find themselves in the middle of that situation, guilty or innocent, we can't have you around the program.
Agreed.
And I think Michigan acted very, very pragmatically there, because you cannot have that around your program. Because whether he's guilty or innocent, everybody there is going to look at him differently and treat him differently. And the outside perception of a brand like Michigan can never be at risk. So I think they handled it well. All right. It's that time of day where we pull out the buckshot. Now, look at Jakey Two-Holes like snotting from every one of them.
Here I am.
Jake's a little under the weather today.
Right.
Did he tell me that he was feeling not well yesterday? No, he didn't. He just hung out and sneezed and coughed everywhere. And then this morning texted me and said, hey, I don't feel so good.
It was actually last night, okay?
Same thing.
No, not the same thing.
You know, those of us that don't sleep are vampires. Morning and night run together. But Jakey texted me last night and said, I'm not feeling good. Taking some,
T.
you know, I'm going to crack out on NyQuil and vitamin C packets and hopefully feel better tomorrow.
Yeah.
Did it get better tomorrow? Which is today right now?
Just a touch, not really.
It didn't. It got worse. That's why you have Buckshot from BuckedUp. Now, I'll tell you, this is 200 milligrams of naturally sourced caffeine, you guys. A bunch of brain food. When you don't feel great, maybe you're a little woozy, that's exactly what Buckshot's for. Take it in the morning, take it in the afternoon. It gives you the opportunity to have your best day every day. So cheers to you, friends. When it's cold, it's the best. Put it in the fridge. I also want to tell you, in our folks in the members only program already have the link. On the 14th of November, BuckedUp is having everything 50% off. So because, you know, you're friends with Uncle Monty.
Yeah. Hey, Monty.
I'm going to give you that link coming up on the show. You have to pre-register for it. So starting next week, I'm going to put that in the description so that you can get everything at buckedup.com 50% off. But you guys, in the description below, click the link. Go get 6 free buckshots so you know exactly how awesome the awesomeness is. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show by using the promo Monty to get 20% off at checkout. BuckedUp, the official energy drink of the Monty Show. I'm nervous to get into the comments today because it's been kind of the wild, wild west in the comments.
Yeah,
section.
is Buckeye fan here today?
You know, Hugh Johnson. Okay.
Hugh Janus.
If Michigan has to vacate the 22 Big Ten championship, I doubt that'll happen. Does that make Purdue the 22 Big Ten champs? Boiler up. You'd have to ask Drew Brees, but my feeling is they're not going to have to vacate that championship.
If you ain't first, you're last.
I think people in this conference are very reticent to go backward.
Yeah.
I think they are happy to keep Jim Harbaugh and Michigan out of the college football playoff, out of the Big Ten championship, which is what I am told the aim is. And obviously it's two-sided. Hey, if Michigan's out of the equation for the Big Ten championship, that opens the door. You know, specifically Penn State's probably in a much better place there. But if you do some math here, the only way to punish Michigan is to reach into their pocket. Keep them out of the Big Ten championship, keep them out of the college football playoff, suspend Jim Harbaugh, and let's go about our business. I think that's what I'm told the majority of people on that coach's call wanted. And I think athletic directors are going to echo that because there's nobody in college football who likes what Jim Harbaugh did.
Agreed.
And frankly, I don't know that there's anybody in college football who likes Jim Harbaugh. Aaron Wilson gifts a membership.
Let's go, Aaron.
Let's go, Aaron. Good to see you. Bill G gifted 5 memberships. Let's go. Brandon Butler gifted 10 memberships.
Let's go, baby.
Let's go. 16 new members on the show today. Love it. You guys, appreciate you. Brandon Butler for $2 more. When do we get to catch up a Wolverine show?
Whatever.
Exactly. How come we don't have a Chris Hansen drop?
Yeah, I'll get it tomorrow.
How come? What?
My bad, dude.
I'm not feeling good.
Yeah.
I'm under the weather. I got snots
Yeah, I'm
all
not
up.
talking about that.
I got snots all up in the face and stuff, man. Cut me some slack, bro.
I mean, you know.
Here I am.
Snot coming out of every orifice.
Yeah. You know.
I agree with what Hugh Johnson said there. Brian Legree. How would they know, though? $2. How would they know what? Lance Johnson for $5. Why wouldn't they say it straight up with him on? Now that would have been funny, awkward. Well, because I think people, if Jim Harbaugh's on that call, they're not going to speak freely.
No.
They're not. So I think that would have been gangster.
They're no Oregon or Washington.
Now, you know. Yeah, I love that. Hellabilly, Michigan, Michigan State, Penn State, Northwestern, and the Ohio State. Make the Big Ten look bad. I think the scandals at Ohio State have not been good. Whatever is going on at Michigan State, bros, you got to get your ethical compass checked, fixed. It's bent. Like Michigan
It's not the
State,
iPhone's fault, Slick.
Michigan State is horrendous. I'm not willing to go all in on Northwestern now. The male nudity car wash thing in the locker room,
Stay hard.
probably not your best look.
Yeah.
But they fired Pat Fitzgerald for it. Like, I mean, I think they're doing what they know how to do.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't excuse the behavior.
Yeah.
And it does not excuse the behavior. You orchestrated a free pass for him.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's just my opinion, but you know, I could be wrong. Let's who was first in today? Let's go all the way. I always like to mention the people who get in first because I really appreciate you guys hitting the like button on the show. That helps the channel grow. My God, we have a lot of comments today. I tried. Boyd Lake said, I can't imagine how you don't suspend Harbaugh at this point. It's a big problem if you don't, if you're the Big Ten. I think it's a huge problem if you don't. I think a huge problem. West Virginia guy, 56. Michigan can have Neil Brown. Yeah, take him. It's a pretty big weekend for good old Neil. Salty Drunk. Likewise, Lois Lane.
Yeah, who the hell is Lois?
Salty, good to see you. A lot of NBA today on the show. John says, the more I think about it, the more I think it's only a matter of time before Michigan gets hit with a lack of institutional control.
Have to.
And I'm pretty sure that's entirely based on my hatred of Michigan. Oh, I don't think there's any doubt. It's only a matter of time. Capazzo in the Jeezy, 70 degrees and sunny in the Jeezy. Great day for golf. Yeah, we played a little golf this morning.
Yeah.
Kicked Jake's ass in the 60-degree chipping competition.
Yeah, we'll see about that tomorrow.
West Virginia guy says, Merry Christmas. Dakota Tubbs says, hey, Jake. Aaron Wilson says, that's AI, Jake. Okay.
Okay.
Grad Slacker, how do I join the Insta group? You hit join, and then you subscribe to the members-only content level for $9.99 a month. Then you DM Sicko over here.
Yeah, Sicko.
SLC Jake on Instagram. And he will plug you into the group once you subscribe.
And no, I won't get you sick.
Yeah, there you go. Texas Tech moving to Adidas. That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Are they really moving to an Adidas school?
It's fitting for their record.
I'm actually a little surprised by that. Cougar Tracks, the show can't go on without Jake.
Never.
You know. Boyd Lake, guys, NFL Muzak in 46 minutes. We do have Thursday Night Football to talk about. Aaron Wilson says, Jake, blink 3 times if it's the thing that Jim Harbaugh recruited during.
I can't do that, dude.
Did you get
The
tested?
coronavirus.
Did you get tested?
No.
Are you going to get tested?
No, I'm going to get a vaccine.
You did not take a COVID test.
No.
God damn it.
Oh.
Do you guys see what I deal with?
What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
Take a
Okay,
COVID
so
test?
here we go.
I want
Let
you to take a
me
COVID
play
test.
this out the way Jim plays it out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hey, guys, yep, we're going to get a test. All right, cool. Hey, all right. Sicko, radioactive, can't do the show. Yeah, that's not really an option, dude. So
What I can have Aaron Wilson fill in for you.
I don't need a tortilla in my chair.
I could have Salty Drunk fill in for you.
Again.
I could have the title lady down the hall fill in for you.
Well, that's different.
That is different. You know. Kyle Collier. Has anyone seen Greg Schiano at halftime of the Michigan game last year?
Yes.
Talk about it indirectly. If not, go watch. Yeah, we played it on the show. It was pretty amazing. You know, it just is what it is. Chris Weaver. I was told you play very little golf, most of it hacking weeds in the rough. Well, you know, just because I'm a 9 handicap, I'm in the rough all the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no, I'm not. Jim R says poor microphone. What did I tell you before the show?
It is what it is, dude. You gotta get sick once a year.
Got to disinfect the microphone.
Right.
Get tested. Tanner Plummer looks like Jake blinked 3 times.
No, I didn't.
Maybe.
No.
OG Gary, I can fill in for Jake. See, there's tons of people
Dude,
who can
none
replace
of you hacks are me. Okay, don't try to pretend like you got the handle on 600 drops. Like
none
don't try
of
to
you
pretend.
hacks.
Don't try to pretend like you can roll up sounding the way I do today and still do a great showroom. Come on now.
Hero 75 for $10. My friend who is a Michigan fan is convinced that the Big Ten NCAA will bribe the refs to make Michigan lose. He is crazy in my view, but that's how far some Michigan fans will go to defend Michigan.
Program.
I don't think you cannot win under this amount of pressure.
No.
The pressure mounting on Jim Harbaugh in Michigan is significant.
Hey, you know how much pressure there is to win right now? If you start losing right now, do you know how bad that would look? Oh, well, you guys stop cheating. Now you suck.
Don't have their signals, so you can't win.
Right? Like, you need to win ball games right now.
Is Michigan legitimately good, or is it because they're sign stealing?
Oh, I think they're I'm not convinced they're a college football playoff team good. I think they're top 10 in the country good, though.
I think their defense is very good, but I don't think it's as good as the metrics show because they know exactly what play and formation is coming.
Yeah.
Makes it a little easier to look very good on the field.
Yeah.
And it's the one thing I say about Ryan Day. And again, I'm a Notre Dame fan. Everybody's been like, oh, wow, look at this guy. It's a show. He's Ohio State fan. Wow.
Notre Dame, our mother.
I'm not an Ohio
I thought
State
based
fan.
on the shirt today, you were a Michigan fan. So, I just couldn't.
I'm not even wearing Michigan color.
Hey, you got blue on?
What does that got to do with the price of tea in Ann Arbor?
That's their main color?
No, this is Royal.
Okay, wow, you're a BYU fan.
No.
You're a dying Mormon.
I'm an
That's
Air
right.
Force fan.
Oh, an Air Force fan. Okay. That's what it is.
But I love that everybody, like the last 3 days, oh, you're an Ohio State fan. No, I'm not. I just don't have a dog in the fight, so I can say nice things about Ohio State, and I can say the truth about Michigan, and it's completely legit. And I don't have to make up lies and tell stories to get people to listen to my podcast that isn't a podcast.
Yeah.
So we don't have to make up stories about. No, I'm not doing
Don't
it.
do
today.
it. Don't
I'm not
do
doing
it.
it today.
Don't.
Cleveland rocks. Browns have tanking Cardinals and Bears at New Orleans.
Okay.
Browns have taken Cardinals and Bears to. I don't know what you mean.
I think that means tanking.
The Browns have tanking Cardinals and Bears to New Orleans. To NO. I don't know what Cleveland rocks. You're my guy and everything. But let's see. Brano 2 times. I've heard that about you. ND fans hate Michigan too. Same difference. I don't hate Michigan. I don't like Michigan.
When Michigan's good, it's better for football and basketball.
Oh,
I
there's
would
no
just
question.
point that out.
And Michigan basketball is actually very good right now.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's fine.
Yeah.
Monty is a Duke fan. He's wearing blue and really smart. I'm actually.
Yeah, who are you, Cooper Flag? Come on.
The funny part about that statement is I'm actually a North Carolina fan. I grew up in Chicago. I love Michael Jordan.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm a North Carolina fan.
Roy Williams.
It just is what it. I think what's really interesting is, and I'll just keep going back to this until they whack Jim Harbaugh and we get real fan meltdown. Who's if you take Jim Harbaugh out of the equation, who is the dirtbag loser coach in sports? There's not really one right now. I mean, a lot of people would say Belichick.
Yeah, but he's not really a dirtbag. He's just an old head that is a Hall of Famer that needs to figure it out. I mean, dirtbag, probably Michael Bidwell right now.
His cheating and
there's only racial undertones in your front office in Arizona. Like, that's a pretty shady guy. Like, the problem is, or not the problem, it's really a good thing. The former Suns owner got run out of that town. The Commanders got a new owner. Like, so some of this stuff is weeding itself out.
Yeah.
So we're kind of cleaning the house a little bit.
Bobby Petrino. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Bobby Petrino. Yeah.
Rick Pitino.
Rick Pitino, the Johnnies. That's a good one.
Yeah.
John Calipari. Bill Self.
Certainly. Come on, dude. Come on.
There's a
Bill
lot of them.
Self, holier than thou.
There's a lot of them in basketball.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's a lot of them in football. They haven't gotten caught yet.
Herm before he got let go.
Well, I mean, we
was recruited.
And we play to win the game.
Yeah.
Let's be honest about it.
I knew today would be shitty.
Yeah, Kenny. Jake does a good job. He'll suck it up and soldier through. You just watch him.
Yeah, you're damn right. Thank you, boy. Appreciate you, dude.
Yeah.
SEO king of the world.
The world and the planet and stuff. Speaking of the big